folks. Thanks so much for being here with us today. We're going to welcome a special guest, Joe, and I always say stuff right, but it's La Sorenza. He's from Montana Biotech, and he's going to tell us about the Grow Buddy and some of the things they're doing. I know we're all anxious right now. Everybody's waiting to see what the governor's going to do, and so are we. If we get something during the show into us, we'll certainly let you know right away. From there, I want to start this show out with some video that got messed up last week. We got that figured out, and everything's set right now, so we're going to put that on. There's two folks here I'm going to introduce you to. The first one, his name's Eugene. He's a caregiver down in the Bitterroot, and he's going to be followed by a couple that go by the Farmers. They have a caregiver operation down there and their patients. Compelling stories, and I wanted to bring those to you. Next week, to begin it off, we're going to have a college student named Kelsey that we're going to do a short bit with, and we're going to go from there to a live little bit with her, and we're going to find out. And then I got some footage at the university yesterday. I still got some footage we're trying to edit from the deal a couple weeks ago, so from 420. So we're going to bring all that to you, but right now we're going to start off with a little bit of video footage from our great friends Eugene and the Farmers. Take a look at this, hear their stories, and know that they're here for you.
My name is Eugene Davis. I'm from Stevensville. I recently became a caregiver. Knew an old man that took VA was giving him pain pills and really never helped, so he was drinking a lot, and with his diabetic, I knew eventually he was going to go into diabetic, into sugar, eventually going to die. So it took me about 2 years, and I eventually talked him into getting his medical card. Try that instead of drinking. I haven't really talked to him much lately. We kind of fallen out, but I still knew it was working for him. He's got another caregiver. But now I've kind of took it on as, with me being an independent contractor, I use it now as a way to survive in the wintertime when there is no work. So, it's the only way I'm really not making a whole lot of money, just really getting by. If everything changes like they want, definitely going to be surviving during the wintertime, back to struggling for every dollar I can get.
I'm Lisa.
My name's Robert.
We are the other farmers, I guess. Sent letters too that said the other farmers, because his last name is Farmer. So, yeah, we took it. If she only knew. Yeah. We live in Victor, and we are caregivers.
Yeah.
And we are definitely patients, 100%.
Yep.
And we grow because we won't take pills anymore. At least not from the doctor. And certainly not from anybody that's trying to give them to us that's pushing pills.
Oh yeah, definitely. Weed, I guess, does everything for me. I mean, to an extent, and it sure helps out the wife tremendously, and that's what it's all about, is helping everyone and growing, I guess the best medicine I could do is that's what I like to do. Shit.
Mm-hmm. You know, it helps a lot. I mean, I about a year ago, I came off my last antidepressant pill, and that took 3 months. The narcotics took about 3 days, but I still twitch. Thank you, doctor. I appreciate everything you did for me for my migraines and all the narcotics you gave me. You were the best connection I ever had, and I will say that till the day I die. But I'll never see you again as long as I live. And they told me I was depressed because I had migraines. And the only thing that I was depressed about was because I hurt. But I hurt because I took all those pills they gave me. So my headache never went away. And then the pills got like stronger and stronger and stronger. And you know, pretty soon they were melting under my tongue. And I was naked in the backyard, imagining that I was sitting in the trees talking to him. Really, I was on the end of the bed. You know,
oh yeah, dude.
It was a good one.
Another episode once again.
So now we grow.
That's what. Yeah.
The kids are grateful. I will say that. They don't have a mom that lays there, and the dog could sit in the bed next to me, and I'd roll over and say, oh, wow. Oh, well, we'll get that later, you know, and it would have been all good. And that's how medicated I was. And now, you know, I'm up and, you know, I'm participating in life. Ass off. I've never been so happy. I can honestly say that. I've never been so happy. And I thank my husband every day because, you know, it's like he sat there for 8 years and watched me eat pill after pill after pill after pill. I mean, I got a list of probably 35 different things that doctor gave me to try. Yeah.
Oh, and different doctors too.
Yeah.
You know, so they could get more pills.
More pills. Those guys die. And I watched them and went, hey, they say they're taking the same cocktail I was taking. They did. And I lived through it. It was like, and I swear I could have been there. It would have been another, maybe a year, maybe.
I have no idea. Like, I'm not a
Wouldn't
doctor.
And then I tried to get help. That was the thing. When I came off the pills, I tried to get help here. I went to the doctor in Stevensville, and they told me that that it was my thyroid. That they were going to test my blood, and I looked down at the floor, and I'm like, wow. You know, my only hope was seeing the doctor to see if the doctor would help me recover from the doctor. You know, and that didn't help either. So. It didn't work. My thyroid was not acting up. It was coming off of, you know, 4 or 5 daily narcotics and Wellbutrin and Fexor and everything under the face of the earth. It was unreal. And he lived through it, and my family lived through it, and it was awful.
Pills are gay.
I watched you go through it too, though. You know, you messed your back up really bad on a scraper, and he was eating 10 Vicodin at a time at dinner and just sit there and glazed-eyed over at me, you know? It was scary.
Oh, wow.
And now I see, you know, it's like we can medicate, we can, you know, use the tinctures or use the lotions, and the pain goes away. We sleep all night. You know, sometimes, you know, it's like...
Good sleep. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I don't
You don't have to
shake
spend all
and
that
twitch
money on those expensive beds anymore.
Yeah, right.
Do some tincture, smoke a bowl, dude, you go right to sleep. Wake up in the morning fresh.
Ready.
That's kind of us. We, you know, we love our patients.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have a few that, you know, we really take special care of because they're like our other children. You know, we've got a few kids of our own, and we keep
They
our
don't
eyes
drink.
out on the younger generation and kind of hang out with some of them, go rock out and do our thing. And it's nice to see that the younger kids are medicating and only medicating with medical marijuana. 2 of our patients are under the age of 21 and do not drink. You know, even
they
though
have
they
cards.
could, but they do have cards. You know, and they go to parties and they go around their friends and they're like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. You know, but we do need our cards. Well, we don't have a storefront.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we're on the level where we deliver privately to our patients, and they come to our home. It is literally a caregiver situation, more so than a storefront. You know, although we provide all the same, you know, benefits, I would say. I mean, you know,
Why in their
games
right
and that sort
mind
of
would
thing,
they
but-
even want
But
to
yeah, I don't
stop people from getting their medicine? Are they that pissed where it's like, oh, you gotta go back to the pharmaceuticals. You have to come back to us. They're like the mafia. That's right. They got big money and big pockets. They're the ones pulling the strings,
I
dude.
honestly do not think that he will not veto it. I really don't. There's too much at stake. There really is. Financially, I mean, Steve I Hardware is going to lose a huge amount of business. It goes all up and down the valley. The restaurants that we attend, all of the other places that we patronize that are there will also lose income. I don't believe he would do that to the whole state. He would be punishing everyone for a few people's misgivings, and I don't think that's right. And I really don't think he will. I really don't. That's not.
Okay,
the
so we had
person
again
that
a little
I
technical
voted
difficulties,
in.
and that seemed to have gone longer than it was supposed to. So we're going to cut the end of that short. I still want to get that to you. We're going to have that over on our YouTube site, and we're going to have it up at least on YouTube. I'm looking at some other options. Go to our webpage, www.growinggreen@bresnan.net. No, www.growinggreen420.webs.com. And that should have been popped up, but it didn't either. So our website, or you can email us for more information at growinggreen@bresnan.net. So going on from there, I want to go ahead and introduce my guest. Everybody, please welcome Joe LaSorenza.
Yes, thank you.
And he's from Montana Biotech, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the scientific end of what's going on, and how we can learn more for ourselves about what we're growing or buying from our caregivers. So, Joe, go ahead and take it from here. Tell me, what is Montana Biotech, and what kind of service do you provide for people in the medical marijuana industry?
I guess what I could start and say first is that Montana Biotech is a small plant biotech company based out of Bozeman, Montana. We specialize in the medical marijuana industry. We provide genetic analysis as well as potency analysis testing for people interested in those kind of services. So the potency analysis is where I kind of overlap with a couple of the other labs, where I try to set myself apart and set my business apart as different, is working with the genetics of the cannabis plant. So what I can provide is I can provide male-female screening and also unique genetic profiles, so people could then take those crosses and take those varieties, take them to the patent office, get them trademarked or patented. One of the other things that kind of makes Montana Biotech different is what I call my Grow Buddy system. What the Grow Buddy is an at-home TLC thin layer chromatography kit. What it allows you to do is test your medical marijuana at home. And so what you can do is with the kit, and there's the different pieces here of it. You've got the sprayer, you've got the pipettes, and you've got the thin layer chromatography plates. And I'm using gloves with the thin layer chromatography plates because you don't want to get your oils on it when you're going to be doing the testing. So all you do is you basically just weigh out your individual samples that you're interested in testing. And that's kind of what I've got here with the Grow Buddy. You can use it as a test tube rack. Then what you do is you set up your plate with your dots. You can see the dots here. Once you get your samples on your plate, it basically, once again, it's just as simple as put the material inside of your developing chamber. You put your fluid into your developing chamber. You then take your plate that you're wishing to develop and look at the cannabinoid content on, and you just drop that into the plate, into the jar, put the lid on, let it develop for 10 to 15 minutes, and at the end, you would remove the plate from the jar.
Or break the plate. That's another option.
Yes, carefully.
That plate seems bigger than the other ones.
And it went in there better than it came out. So anyways, you'd let it air dry. You would then, once you let your plate air dry after it's been developed, in order to visualize your cannabinoids, you'd then want to place your plate.
This is great. You guys are going to love this.
You're going to want to place your plate.
It's like an instant rainbow.
Into your developing chamber here. I've already pre-measured out the dye that comes with the kit, and it's just as simple as spray for your plate.
Now, I want to, because we forget so much when we're doing this, but reiterate that we've covered the table area that this is happening in with some protective cloth, and he's spraying it inside the box because it is a dye and it will dye your stuff. So on alcohol, you said?
Yes, rubbing alcohol,
We'll
spirits.
usually get that back out, but you want to make sure that you take the extra precautions so you don't have to worry about if it's going to come out or not. And,
Thank you.
and again, I want to reiterate what he said. These are chemical agents, and it's just solutions and alcohols. It's not necessarily lethal to use, but you want to make sure you use gloves all the time. Always use gloves.
And you can see instantly your results come out. And so what you can do then is you can instantly look at and try to determine, and can determine, these are each individual samples from different varieties. And so what a grower could do is they could say, well, this is the one that does X, Y, or Z for me. This one is the one that does X, Y, or Z for another patient with this, that, or the other condition. And then what you could do is then take that variety or take that strain in, and instead of trying to get all 20 of your varieties tested or 5 of your varieties tested, you could then just choose that one variety that does the best for the most amount of people, and then go get that potency analysis tested with a reputable lab such as mine or such as one of the other 2 labs here in Montana.
Now, Joe, you do other stuff too. Then besides, this isn't you don't just make and manufacture and sell these Grow Buddies. You have an actual lab that you do testing for people in, correct?
Yes.
And you were telling me earlier that one of the things you can do is test for genetics.
Yes.
And you can actually patent the strain of weed that if you crossbreed, make a strain of your own, and you get your own name, and you can patent all of that, the genetics to the name, and it's yours, right? Nobody else can take that from you, basically, or I would have to pay you royalties to do it.
Correct.
So that's something to look forward to. In the future, and now's the time you want to do that, because 10 years from now, all those patents will be done. And people will be patenting stuff that they haven't done yet on the genetics that they're going to get. I promise you, if you don't remember the .com bubble, it went from they were free to hundreds of dollars, and people bought thousands of names at a time and resold them. They're still making money. Go Daddy.
Go Daddy.
So now's the time. And of course, we still have to get in where we fit in. We need this vetoed. We need the governor to go in there and say, I told you this was ridiculous, and you're still there. It's still unconstitutional. It's still not fair to the people that have voted. So again, please, please, please call your governor, call your senators, call your neighbor and tell them to call everybody. Make sure that we have this tomorrow and for generations to come. I've been told that there's already someone working on a bill that says this will never happen again, because a voter initiative should not be changed by legislation. It should only be changed by voter initiative, and there's already something being wrote up to make that happen. In the midst of everything they're doing here, there's already a bill being written to legalize marijuana across the country at the next federal legislative session. So there's a lot of things happening, and there's still a big fight here no matter what happens. Even if it's vetoed and we're free for the next year and a half or so, plan on going to vote and a new initiative being in there for 2012. And the choices you make today and the people you vote for are going to change how that legislation goes. So let's make sure we get out there, register to vote. Let's make sure that we have all the information necessary and ready. We're going to move forward a little bit from here. I hope you really enjoyed that demonstration, and Joe for being here. He's going to be here to answer questions, and our bud tender Jason's going to come out here in a few minutes and talk to us about nutrients. So let me just double check my deal here. So with that, I think what I want to do is go ahead and do one more little video bit. We're going to jump forward a space to that. I'm going to show you. You know what? I went to a friend's house, so let me tell you how this developed. All of this is based on giving you information and helping you to be a better caregiver, a better patient, a better citizen, a better user of medical marijuana, a responsible citizen for the state of Montana. And we want to make sure everybody has what they need. And a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and Jason's going to go in a bit about how much there is that people don't understand about the cost. When they put up this stuff in the new bills about going and seeing 4 doctors or a doctor 4 times and then seeing another doctor, who's paying for that? Who's paying for that? You know what I mean? Because doctor visits ain't cheap, insurance ain't cheap. And who's paying for the lights and the ballast and the buckets and the fluids and the waters and all the things it takes to grow that marijuana at home? Nobody's complaining when the pharmaceutical companies make another $1 billion, but they don't want the small town folks in Montana to make enough to survive and put food on the table for their families. That's really upsetting to me that people open an industry in a job market that's crashing and create income and jobs for people, and then somebody on a moralistic Puritan value wants to shut that down, even though it's helping people. So let's move on from there. I want to show you a little video. I went to a friend's house. She didn't know how to roll a joint. She said, hey, can you roll it? So she had papers. She had a rolling machine. She had marijuana. She even had a grinder. She had everything that we're going to show you on this video, but she didn't know how to use it. And she was a grown woman. So thank you, if you're watching today, for being my inspiration for this, Heather. And I hope that embarrasses you in front of all your friends. Because after this, you won't be. You'll know how to roll your very own marijuana cigarette joint. Call it what you want. You got to put as a cigar paper to call it a blunt, folks. So let's go ahead and show that video on how to roll back in the back room. If you could cue that up for us, we'd sure appreciate it. Thanks.
If you want to roll your own joint, the first thing you'll need is some marijuana, followed by a grinder or a pair of scissors, a rolling tool, such as this one, and some papers. There are many varieties. Shop around and find what's best for you. To use a grinder, which there are several styles, you'll open it up, insert the marijuana, close your grinder, and turn it as directed. A fine powder, perfect for rolling medical marijuana joints, will come out the other end. If you don't have this method available, a good pair of scissors will work fine. Take your marijuana and cut it into fine, small particles. This will alleviate stems breaking through your paper and give you a nice, even joint when you're done. The second step would be to take your roller and insert the marijuana into the folds as directed. A big mistake of a lot of people, first time using these rollers, is that they forget that everything needs to be toward you. The low side should roll toward you, or the moving side should roll toward you. Once your marijuana is in and it's closed, again, with the movable side toward you, roll the roller. This will even your marijuana inside and give a perfect joint. When you insert the paper, again remember, toward you. Always the gummy side toward you. Put the non-gummy side into the roller and pull the roller again toward you. When you get down to the last part, you will either wet or lick the gummy side of the paper to close it and finish your joint. Pop it down and a perfect joint will come out. A slight twist to the end will keep the marijuana from coming out and wasting your money. If you don't have a roller, a nice trick is to use a crisp dollar bill, or a 5 in this case. Place your paper with the sticky side forward in the center of the bill. Load it with your pre-ground or clipped marijuana.
Yeah, but Terrence wasn't high on the guy's list.
This trick may take some time to perfect. but it's good to know that there's always a way to get it done. Another little trick my girlfriend showed me will keep the small particles of marijuana from getting in your mouth and teeth. Taking a pin, go lightly around the end, tucking the paper inside. Again, this might take a touch of practice and a few tries to get it right. When you're done, you'll have somewhat of a paper guard, stopping small particles from coming out of your joint and keeping them smoking where they should be. This has been How to Roll a Joint. We hope it helps. Thank you, and thanks to Kyle from the Montana Cannabis and Hemp Foundation for showing us how to roll a joint.
So I hope that was helpful for you, folks. Now we're back. We're gonna bring back Jason from Montana.
Cannabis and Hemp
Montana
Foundation.
Cannabis, the Montana. It's the that messes me up. It's the Montana Cannabis and Hemp Foundation. Jason Barkey, he's a bud tender, and he's gonna be here to answer questions for us. We're gonna go ahead and open up the phones if we can get the number up on the screen. And Jason's gonna tell us a little bit about nutrients, and the phone's ready and ringing, and we'll take your calls gratefully while we're talking about this. Go ahead and tell us a little bit now. Stage 3, I guess. We did soil, we did lights, and now where we
We're
at?
going to talk about the nutrients. And with the breaking news, this is going to be a little bit more important to people.
Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, now caller, you're on the air with Growing Green. Please tell me your name, and remember this is 5:30, so let's keep our language PG. Hello?
Right. Yeah, I just had a question. Was wondering what your opinion is about the current legislation they're trying to pass in July here to restrict the medical cards.
Well, that's a lot about what it's about. I tell you what, we're going to go into that before we're done. We did get some breaking news that says Schweitzer said he was going to let this bill pass, and we're going to talk to you a little bit more about how we want everybody to call. Everybody needs to call your friends, your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, people from out of state. Call everybody you know and have them call him and tell them, you know what, we got a year and a half to write up something real that will fix it, make it right. But look at the states around us, look at everybody else that's passing it, and we're going to repeal it. We're going to be the first state to allow the legislation to take away the will and the right of the voters. I'm disgusted. So we're going to get back to that quote. What's your name again?
I'm Sam. I'm here at the university.
Okay, well, Sam, we're going to get back to that some more. Because it's something we're all worried about. Everybody in the industry. That's kind of where all this is focused at. No matter what happens here, we know we're going to have to write a new bill and make a new vote in 2012. The voters are going to have to come back, and we're going to have to put in something in there that says, never again can they take away our right to vote. Never again can the legislature repeal and stop, make a law against something that the voters put in. Why are we calling ourselves a democracy in a free country if they're telling us what we're supposed to do? That sounds like communism and fascism to me. Okay, moving on. I'm bitter. Do I sound bitter? All right. So thank you so much, Sam. Please keep watching and tell your friends and get back to us with some more whatever you got, okay? And we'll try to answer more questions. But let's learn a little bit about the nutrients so we can get some more information out to everybody today. So Jason, go ahead and take it from there. And thank you, Sam. And please keep calling. We'll interrupt Jason some more.
Well, due to the news, I'm going to change up what I was going to talk about today just a little bit. And we're going to go to the keep it simple, stupid method, because a lot of the patients that are still going to be able to currently have their cards that really don't know how to grow, or, I mean, it's not as easy as the Republicans have made it sound, like you throw a seed in the ground and add a little bit of water and let it grow. Your lighting, your environment, you know, your nutrients, you know, it's all important. But in the stage of things, you can go a little bit more complicated with this, but you basically have your veg and your bloom. It's an ionic system. During veg, you take your clones or your baby plants and you allow them to grow, you shape them, you use your lights for, 18 hours or so. We talked about that. You want to keep your temperature range, almost semi-tropical. You don't want to let it get too warm. You don't want to let it get too cold. You want a variance of about 15 degrees. And it's your local, the local greenhouse supply store. They have a myriad of products. I recommend that you spend a lot of time talking to them. Work with what environment you got, what type of lights that you have, and what they can recommend. And they have a lot of stuff that is semi-cost effective, as far as using electricity or, because it's all going to be important. This isn't a cheap process, and it's not as easy as they keep wanting to make it seem. I've been working in a greenhouse for over a year, and I've been working with some excellent people that grow very well. And every time we get a new strain, it's like I don't know, it's like cooking something new. Following a recipe, your recipes don't always work. You have to play with it. You have to work with it.
So there's a lot of take and give. There's a lot of, you know what I mean?
It's
you're
a learning
losing a lot of money
process.
before you're saving a dime.
Well, you're looking at from the time that you start, with your little clone, or a lot of people are probably going to have to do seeds because the clones aren't going to be as readily available now.
If they take away the caregivers.
If they take away the caregivers. And I mean, even if we got them, I mean, Schweitzer's, thing to the bill was limiting it to 25 patients per caregiver. That left a little bit of room to, it's not a cheap process. It left a little bit of room for, us to provide clones for the patients, for, us to take care of, and it also would provide more jobs, actually, than the industry already currently has. I spent a night this week with a single mother doing her first chemotherapy trip. And, aside from the chronic pain that they want to talk about, as a caregiver myself, my responsibility is to take care of my patients and try to help alleviate their pain. I think that members of our legislature should have to spend time with these people that have these conditions and understand what it is. I did this for free. We provide medicine for free to the people that can't afford it. That's what our job is, to be compassionate, caring, and do the best we can. It isn't all about money.
We want to be unrepublican. That's what you're saying. Have some compassion, care.
I would say that...
I'm sorry to you Republicans that aren't that way, because I apologize. I really... There's so much poverty in Montana that it just floors me that the Republicans run the state, because they're the ones that are taking away from the poor. So...
well, what I was going to say along with that is we have a new brand. And I don't think it's necessarily the Republicans and the people. It comes down to money. The pharmaceutical companies have lost so much money due to the, people not buying their pills and their poisons, that they're pumping money in, and they fund the Republicans, and we know it.
Welcome to the Growing Green Show. Thanks for calling in. Who we have?
Yeah, this is Steven in Washington.
Hi, Steven. How you doing?
Doing great. I'm watching you guys' webcast here, and I saw the part about the Grow Buddy. I was just wondering, is that something that I can get here in Washington? And if so, what's something like this cost?
You want to go ahead and, along with the guidelines?
Yeah, absolutely. There are certain things I can and cannot say, but absolutely. The Grow Buddy, you can get it in any state. You do not have to be in a medical marijuana state. It is not paraphernalia. It's not considered paraphernalia. No medical marijuana comes with the kit. You provide the medical marijuana for the kit. So no, absolutely.
It's BYOM, folks.
Or BYOB, bring your own bud.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
But no, absolutely, 100% you can get it mailed to you. Just go to my website. You can get it off my website, www.montanabiotech.wordpress.com. You can order it from me there online, or you can shoot me an email at montanabiotech@gmail.com, and you can get. I will give you some more information about price, costs, and how you can get it delivered right to you.
Awesome, thank you.
No, thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we look forward to more calls, so keep that phone ringing. Thank you, Steven in Washington. We appreciate you watching. Let your friends know. Keep that webcast going out. Okay, so back to where we were on
back to where we were. Their idea that they take all the money or profit out of it, all of us are doing it. I mean, there are certain people, and we all know they're out there, that they're all about the money. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the patients. They just want the money. I mean, we've become the laughing stock in Montana right now, even in, the East Coast.
Right, you were talking about the New York Times. It was in the New York Times. So what a joke we were over this.
There was something about the New York Times about our legislature and what a joke it is and how much money and waste of time that this is on a voter initiative that they're overturning. Our saving grace is, things are going to be rough for a couple years, but we get a revote and we get to get rid of the people that are in there now. And there's a lot of people that are going to run for office that probably never would before, because it's time for us to take our government back. And that's about the best we can say. And we're going to have to vote it in. And we're going to have to vote for the people that are for the people, not big business, the pharmaceutical companies, and that's about where it's at.
So,
but
folks,
talk to your people at your greenhouse supply stores. They'll give you the best information possible, the simplest methods for you to work and do this, because it's not easy. Stick with the simple ionic system. Your veg and your bloom.
Okay, and we're going to get together with you and do some more footage still to bring in stuff that we can't really do here to show the clone process, how to germinate a seed, how to do cloning, regular watering, how to mix a little molasses in your water to give that sugar and give your plants the extra bit that they need on top of the nutrients. The little tricks of the trade. So that should you be able to buy a light and a ballast and some dirt and pots and a hydro system, and all the other little bits and pieces and several $100s worth of nutrients, at least once you've got it all there, it won't just sit there and rot, because thanks to Jason.
And in 3 months, you'll be able to have a usable medical product.
You'll know how. In 3 to 5 months, is that?
And in about 3 months, if you do it right, you'll be able to have a usable medical product.
All right.
Everybody thinks that it's just so easy and it's, done overnight. It's not. It's an agricultural product. When the farmers plant their wheat, they got to wait till the end of the season to get it.
Yeah, that's right.
When the cherry trees bloom, you got to wait for the cherries to come out and ripen. And it's the same thing with medical marijuana.
Okay, so we're going to thank both of you, first of all. Jason from TMCHF, that I'm getting it by show 8 or 12. Oh, folks, hey, I'm stretching out. If I can, I'm really worried about this, but we got 10 more days. So I already put in the order to get us 4 more shows to give us 12 weeks. Joe, so maybe we can have you back before we're all done with some more information and tell us some more about that genetic testing you can do. Squishing a leaf. All you got to do is squish a leaf in between a piece of paper, mail it to him, and he'll send you a DNA deal that will let you get a patent on your strain. It's phenomenal. That's great. And it's the future. You know what I mean? It's .com all over again. So thanks a bunch. We're going to have a short, a brief message, promotional spot for our sponsors and let you know who they are. And then we'll be back with Tiffany's Treats. And Tiffany and Chantel will be showing us how to make a cereal mix, a cereal party mix. I don't know if I can say Chex Mix, so if I can't, sorry. They're going to make a cereal mix right here in just a few minutes and show you how to do that at home. So stay tuned, listen to what we got, and come right back. Or we'll still...
We're the Montana Cannabis and Hemp Foundation, your mature, professional, reliable caregivers, located at 401 West Broadway, Suite C, Missoula, Montana.
Hi, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. I am Tiffany from Tiffany's Treats, and this is my partner Chantel. Today we're going to be making Chex Mix. And Chex Mix is something that you can make at home, and you can make with a variety of ingredients. Today we're just going to use a couple basic cereals, some peanuts, some pretzels, a couple of different cheesy crackers, and some bugles. So Chantel's going to be helping us by adding some ingredients to a pan. We're going to get them hot and get it all sizzling, and then we're going to mix it into the Chex Mix.
So we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of Worcestershire, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and a tablespoon of onion powder, and a tablespoon of seasoning salt is all here. Mix that around. Smells so good.
It is very good. A nice thing about Chex Mix, it's something that you can have at any point in time of the day.
Then you will add your cannabis butter that we made last week.
In the perfect shape
And it's
of a
1/4
muffin
of a cup.
can. Perfect 1/4 cup. Anyway, so yes, we're gonna make Chex Mix, and it's good because you can take it on hikes, you can have it at lunch, you can have it on your way to work so that you can be medicated without smelling like cannabis. It's also nice because you can use it discreetly and keep it in your purse and have it as a special treat for when you're not feeling very good and you need your cannabis to last a little longer. The benefit of eating cannabis treats is that it lasts a little bit longer than smoking it, and by the time your smoking high or your relief has worn off, you're moving into your relief via the cannabis and the cannabinoids and the butters and foods. So after this is nice and hot and bubbly, and I wish you could see it, it's so wonderful, but after this is nice and hot and bubbly, we're gonna add it to our Chex Mix. So we're gonna add 2 cups of Chex Mix, or Chex cereal, and I use a mixture of the wheat and the corn because I like it, it's wonderful. And then we're also gonna add some Bugles and some rye chips. We're also going to add some peanuts and pretzels. I'm only going to add about half of this. It seems like we got quite a bit going on. To that, we're also going to add some different kinds of cheesy crackers. Goldfish and Cheez-Its are what I like. And then after this is all hot and bubbly, we're going to pour this Worcestershire mixture onto the cereal mixture. Go ahead. And it's nice to have 2 people to do it. Go ahead and you can add the rest. It's nice to have 2 people do it. That way one person can stir as one person pours. You don't really want to make anything soggy, so it's good to keep mixing. On the far edge of the table over here, I have a little toaster oven. I heated it up to about 375 degrees. We're going to put this onto a cookie sheet, and then we're going to put it into the toaster oven for about 3 minutes. I like to check it every 3 minutes. You don't want to overcook your stuff. You just want it to kind of dry out. So we'll put this onto a cookie sheet. And this will probably be better in 2 batches because I don't like to put too much. I just like it to be a single even layer. And then I'm gonna open it up. Here, just do it. Yeah, the vinegar smell is quite wonderful. So we're going to be pulling the hot Chex Mix out of the oven and putting a second one in. And then this is what you'll have as your finished product. It would be a nice Chex Mix mixture. Have it all the way dried out before you put it into baggies and store it. You don't want to have any moisture. And you can also make a lot and put it in the freezer as long as you put it away from children or animals and have it as a treat for other rights. Thank you for coming today, and I want to remind everybody to please call your governor and protect our patient rights. It's really important that everybody has access to cannabis, and it is really important that not just the critically ill and the critically sick have cannabis. It's preventative medicine. It is it's wonderful, and it shouldn't be to where a small portion of Montanans or a small portion of us people get cannabis. Please call your governor at 406-444-3111 and tell him please do not amend 423. Please veto the bill. It is a black market bill, and it takes the rights away from all of us Montanans and puts it back into the black market. So please keep your rights and call the governor. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Now, I just wanted, there's some other things, there's a lot going on.
There is, and
I'm
it's
not here.
terrible.
Let me come on around here, folks. There's a lot of stuff going around, and people are doing what they can in this economy. We're all doing what we can to survive, and people have sunk their life savings into caregiver shops or provider shops or medical marijuana dispensaries, or call it what you want. It's people's livelihoods now. It's 8 years in, and it's people's livelihoods. It's people that are going to go hungry. It's kids that ain't going to go to school or college or have clothes because their mom and dad's store was shut down by people that were moralistic. And so while I rant and rave, and maybe you're getting tired, I want to show you that it's not just, there's the edible industry, there is the dispensary industry, there's the glass industry, there's lawyers and doctors and farmers and people supplying the nutrients and the lights and the power and the real estate, and oh my God, there's so many places that are rented today that were not rented a year ago. But even and Tiffany's gone beyond, because she does the edibles. They have a multifaceted dispensary down there with Sapphire Services, and she's working on her own clothing line. If
I don't have the boots.
Oh, it's the other boots. She's got boots that come with little nugs and the wore down heels.
The heels get worn down and they supply little nugs.
We're gonna call those nugs. You've all heard of lug shoes. We're gonna market those as lugs. It's gonna be a new invention. So hey, thanks for coming, and thank you, Tiffany and Chantel, for being here and showing this. And we got an idea what we're doing next week?
Next week is a surprise. We're going to have some kinds of sweets here next week. I'm not exactly sure. It's such I have put my love, I have put my life, I have put my children, I've put everything into this business, and I care. I put it into food, I put it into lotion, I put it into love. When you come into my clinic for the first time, I give you a gift basket. I make sure that you leave with all the medicines and all the foods that you can do to try to make it better for yourself. You're not charged to find out what works better for you. You're not, we're not exploiting you in any way. We're trying to take care of our patients. And I'm blessed to have been in this industry, and it's terrible that people are trying to take this away from us. And it's terrible that, our children may not someday have the benefits of cannabis in their lives if they're ill or if they're not, and that our dying parents aren't going to have the access to cannabis if they need it.
Or our children will move out of Montana to places that are more accepting.
Yes, it's absolutely terrible. So, like I said, please call, please let the governor know what's going on.
Register to vote.
Register to vote. Make sure that your voices are heard, and stand with us, stand together. Thank you, Montana.
Right, because if we don't stand together, we will hang alone, or something close to that was said once.
We will hang very, very loud. Thank you, Benjamin Franklin, for that one.
And so we'll be back next week with that and more. Again, I said we'll have Kelly here. Or Kelsey here. I have some apologies to make. I meant to do this at the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and sit back over here. They'll get me here as soon as I sit down, I'm sure. They'll even follow my voice. It's just like Easter egg hunting, hide and seek. Here I am. So folks, before I close out here, I got a few minutes left. And I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the stuff that I just can't believe it. To hear the Missoulians say, come in over the devices, that's what's great about America today, is that something happens 1,000 miles away and you're going to hear about it in about 30 seconds. So this only happened a few hundred miles away, but Schweitzer said that he was going to let that bill pass because he's worried about dispensaries. Now, I don't know how many have driven around Missoula, around Montana, but I ain't been to a town yet that ain't got a Walgreens, a Walmart, a Rite Aid, a pharmacy, someplace you can go buy drugs. Now, I can go down to the local park along the river and I can buy marijuana, and there ain't a storefront there. I can go downtown and hang out with street urchin kids that are got pills and this and that in their pocket that they're stealing out of their mom and dad's pharmacy cabinet in the bathroom. I can go down there and buy it, and I don't need a storefront. But if I want to buy marijuana legally and medically, then a storefront's where it should be. Because I'm either being a black market person, I'm either hiding in the alley and I'm doing things illegal, or I'm up front and honest and I'm right there at the store. You can see me walk in, you can see me walk out. I'm a patient. If I have a rash on my arm, nobody persecutes me for walking into the grocery store and buying a cream or something to put on there. If I have an illness that I need some pills for, nobody's criticizing me for going to the doctor and him giving me one more narcotic, one more opiate, one more benzo, or let's say I'm on the opposite scale and he can give me a bunch of Ritalin or Adderall and hype me up, where that marijuana will bring me back into the same focus that those methamphetamines will, or amphetamines. So we can do this either way, folks. the people are going to do what they're going to do. The laws just are a reason to lock people up and give somebody else a job to watch them. So if I was in the jails, if I was in the jails and the prisons, and I have been, I would want this illegal. I would want more laws to be broken so more people can come to jail and more people can go to prison. And I have a job now. I know that my future, my kids are going to go to college if I'm a guard at a prison because it's illegal, and we're going to have as many things illegal in our democratic free society as possible. And that way, turn screws could have a job and their kids could go play softball. And that's great for the middle of the state because they need the income over there at Deer Lodge. But we don't need it here because we have dispensaries. We have a booming industry that's helping people recover from a depression faster than anywhere else in the country. We're moving forward when everybody else is still stagnant or moving backwards. And you're trying to take that away. You're trying to take away food from families and jobs from people and relief. And next week you're going to meet Kelsey. She's a college student. She's getting A's and B's in her classes. And she uses medical marijuana. And she doesn't have palsy or bubonic plague or cancer. And so many people do. And I'm not taking away from that because those people need it too. But there's a whole lot of people that suffer from pain every day, and I'm one of them. And if you see me walking around today, you can see my little brace on. Oh, I can't see it. I don't know. You can see the little brace on my leg when I was up moving around. It just helps my knee not hurt as bad, just like the medical marijuana helps my knee not hurt as bad. My shoulder that was in a car accident hurts all the time. The marijuana don't take it away, but it dulls it enough that I can go to work and stock beer for people to come into the gas station and buy it. And I can stock things in and out of the back room. And it still hurts. It ain't going away. It's not like opiates where I don't even know I'm in pain and I'm just damaging myself worse. The pain's still there. It's just dull. I can deal with it. It helps me get through one more day of 10 hours, 9 hours standing on my feet to pay my rent every month. And I know so many of you are right there. But the fact that this industry's here, people are out there, that's given us that opportunity for more jobs. That's given more money into the economy so that my employer could give me a raise and I could afford to buy new shoes. My landlord wouldn't be cussing because I'm late again. You know, all of this is in our power. And it's in your power right now. Call the governor. Tiff gave you that number. I think we might have it in the back, or someone can run out here with me and yell it again. The same number. You can get out there and call the governor. You know, and we're past the senators, folks. We're past legislation. We need that governor. We need Mr. Schweitzer to understand that this is ours. We voted for it. We asked for it. We wrote it up. We signed it into law. 60-something%. You're saying that 20%, let's say, is stupid. 20% of the people in this state are stupid. They didn't know what they were checking. They didn't know that that was a box. They just put a mark somewhere on the paper, and it turned out that, oh my God, pot is legal. Well, it's not, folks. It's not legal, but it's there to help people that are having medical conditions, people that want adult pain, people that don't want to rot their stomach with the acids in aspirin, their kidneys with the NSAIDs, or their liver with the acetaminophen. People that would rather take something natural. It's here for us. And we made it here for us, and now they're taking it away. So we're just about out of time. I just want to check this and make sure there's nothing I'm forgetting. I know that I always forget to thank some of the people that have helped me bring this together for you. And I just want to go over my list a little bit. I really want to thank Joe LaSorenza from Montana Biotech for coming over here and spending a day with us and taking a lot of time out of his life just to let us see how this works and give us some information. Along with that, him and I shot some video. So if you didn't catch all this or you're not catching this on YouTube, you can go ahead and get a hold of him at his email or his website, and we'll package up a DVD step-by-step showing you everything that you weren't able, that we didn't have time, so that you weren't able to see out here in the demonstration. It'll give you step-by-step through that. There's that up on the screen again, Montana Biotech. At gmail.com. Go ahead and get a hold of them if you want some more information on that. And I want to thank Tiffany and Chantel from Tiffany's Treats and the Sapphire Services, Pop's Pipe, that whole crew down there. Folks, I meant to mention over there, you know, when you see their little promotional spot and she's out there feeding the chickens, those are her chickens. That's not some generic stuff that we filmed to put in there. That's her chickens that she goes out and gets eggs from to make treats for her dispensary. I mean, that's Montana. You know what I mean? People growing things to get them better. People having real chickens out there to lay eggs to make their food with. That's Montana. That's what this industry is about. About recycling, reusing, about rope and hemp, about paper and clothing, and everything that the rich have been taking away from the poor. And now they're back. They want the rich to be able to go to a doctor 4 or 5 times, 10 times a year. And I wish I could go to a doctor 10 times a year, but I can't. I can't afford it. I can't go to a doctor 4 or 5 times in 6 months and then pay another one. Even with my bone degeneration and my lumbar strain and all the pain and osteoarthritis I have, even if it's legal for me to do that, I can't afford it. So you're taking it away from me, and I know that I ain't alone, folks. I know that you're out there, that you're just like me. Some of you are going to have to go to your neighbor's house and use their cell phone to call the governor. But that's what you need to do. Go to your neighbors. Go to your neighbor you never met and say, hi, I'm your neighbor. I want to use your phone. I need to call the governor. Folks, that's all I got for you today. I love you. Thank you for being here. I love bringing this show to you, and thanks for everybody else. Again, I want to thank Jason Barkey, our bud tender, who comes in. He's ready and willing to answer any questions for you. You can stop down at the Montana Cannabis and Hemp Foundation. They'll be glad to answer questions for you and give you any information they can. Sapphire Patient Services out in the Bitterroot is more than happy again to come by their shop, check it out, see what they have to tell you. Get the inside scoop, folks. You don't get it on TV. You know what I mean? The things that I can't bring you because I'm out here with these folks. So there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. I want to thank Montana NORML, and I want to thank Montana's for Responsible Legislation, MRL. They'll be here next week. Right after Kelsey comes off, we're going to have them talking about some of the legislative stuff coming up. I think I'm about out of time, folks, so I'm going to give you some final credits, tell you how much I love you all, and we'll see you next week. This has been the Grown Green Show. Thanks for tuning in.
I'd like to tell you a bedtime story about my friend who's insane. It might be hazy, a little crazy. I'm dragging a ball in a chain. Bitches calling, vices crawling. My life seems out of control. Nowhere to run. I'd like to tell you a bedtime story about my friend who's insane. It might be hazy, a little crazy. I'm dragging a ball in a chain. Bitches calling, vices crawling. My life seems out of control. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm going inside.
Power. Power. Power to the people, man.